Right. Now, to give us a little bit of background on the UN Sustainable Energy for All initiative and its direction these coming years, I'd like to call on stage Ms. Monica Freuler from UN Sustainable Energy for All.
Thank you very much. May I actually ask for the clicker so that I can maneuver the PowerPoint myself? So good morning, everyone. I'm very happy that the room fills up gradually. I know it's a bit difficult to find because it's on the other side of the normal conference proceedings, but thanks the more to all of you who have found it and who are here. I see familiar faces in the audience and they will already know some of my slides, but I hope to give a bit of a different twist today. I'm from Sustainable Energy for All. We're the initiative that has been founded 2 years ago, launched with offices in Vienna and New York, by the United Nations and the World Bank together. So we are quite a unique hybrid, to say the least, dealing with sustainable energy for all and 3 targets, 3 goals. And before I switch to the first slide, we've already heard the goals, actually, in the first intervention that we had. But let me ask you, do you know already what our goals are? Anyone volunteering with one? What's one of our goals? You know them all, I'm sure. Anyone? We have 3 goals, actually one overarching goal, sustainable energy for all until 2030, but 3 targets. What are the 3 targets? Say it again, sorry?
Doubling is renewable energy.
Brilliant, bingo 1. The second one?
Universal access.
Universal access. Second one, yes, and the third?
Energy efficiency.
Doubling?
Energy efficiency.
Doubling the improvement rate of energy efficiency. That's exactly it. So our overall goal, achieving sustainable energy by 2030, and our 3 objectives, targets, are these 3. Now, in my presentation, I want to talk to you, we have already covered the first point, goals and targets, about some of the SE4All highlights that have happened over the last 2 years, country action in the Asia-Pacific region, energy efficiency in the Asia-Pacific region, and the next steps. So let us delve right into it. Another question, would you know, in the global energy mix, how much is actually already fueled by renewable energy? Because we have seen our target on renewable energy is to double the share of renewable energy in the global energy mix. So how much is actually the share of renewable energy in the global energy mix? Any ideas? 5% you say? Okay. Anyone, something else? It's like an auction here, 5% first bid. 3? Anyone? Yeah?
10% if you include traditional biomass in that definition, because there's a big discussion about whether it should be there or not.
Very nice answer. Indeed, that's close to the numbers that I have from IEA and others. They say it would be for electricity, renewable energy for electricity, we are talking about 10 to 12%. For energy, completely, not regarding electricity, it would only be 2 to 3%. So it depends on the angle that you're looking upon. If you're looking electricity and biomass, you're absolutely right, the 10%, 10 to 12 actually is that. All right, would you know what the global rate of improvement of energy efficiency currently is? What is estimated as the global rate of improvement of energy efficiency? Any guesstimations? Less than 2%, that's correct. So how much do we give it? It's 1.3. So we're trying to double it to 2.6. Fair enough. So what are the highlights of SE4All? What has SE4All achieved so far? Indeed, 1 billion plus people, and that's quite a number, are expected to gain sustainable energy from Sustainable Energy for All partner commitments that were already made since the United Nations conference Rio Plus 20, the development conference. 300 billion plus are committed to sustainable energy for all already during and since Rio Plus 20. 70 billion plus of Rio Plus 20 commitments are already invested in sustainable energy for all. 90 million plus people have so far gained access to sustainable energy from Rio Plus 20 commitments. We too are very happy that we have managed to get energy on the overall UN agenda, and it manifests itself in the SDG number 7, which will hopefully be decided in September this year, on sustainable energy. And it actually enshrines the objectives that we have just focused on again. It enshrines all of them and tells a bit more about them even. Our finance committee, that was already mentioned, has found a potential or several potential instruments to generate 120 billion US dollars annually for, and these instruments are actually supported and were found or elaborated by the Brazilian National Bank, Bank of America, and the World Bank together in a consortium of our finance committee. SE4All is also proud to have 10 regional and thematic SE4All hubs. One very important one is the one in ADB here in the Asia Pacific. Another one very interesting for the Asian region is the Japanese ECCJ, so the Energy Conservation Center in Japan, which is focusing very much on energy efficiency. Energy efficiency too is dealt by our hub in Copenhagen, but indeed we have 10 regional and thematic hubs. And as I said, the one led by ADB together with SCAP and UNEP in the Asia Pacific is of crucial importance to this region for us. Our network. We wouldn't manage the Herculean task that we were entrusted with without our trusted partners. And as you can see, our network ranges from UN organizations like UNIDO, UNDP, UNEP, the United Nations Foundation, to the World Bank, but also the regional development banks. And I can't emphasize enough how important the regional development banks actually are for our work, like ADB, like the African Development Bank, and like the Latin American Development Bank. We too are collaborating with businesses like Danfoss, Philips, Johnson Controls, Accenture, directly to give the private sector not only a voice, but also a vested linkage point to projects, programs, and flagship programs that we are running. We're talking to global facilitation teams. I'm from the one in Vienna. My location is Vienna, as is Martin Niemetz, my colleague, who is sitting in the second row and also stands ready to answer any of your potential questions. We have 2,000 practitioners that we can count on worldwide, and they are hosted by the United Nations Foundation. And they are the practitioners who deal with the solar panels, the cook stoves, the various aspects of grassroots level engagement under the SE4All umbrella. Further highlights, 100, 100, 100 plus. This is not yet a highlight. We are working on it to become a highlight because this is our goal for COP21. What we want is that central and local governments, companies and financiers, banks or businesses, are mobilized to drive the SE4All Global Energy Efficiency Accelerator platform towards the UN Climate Change Conference in 2015. What happened was actually that the French turned to SE4All saying, please contribute with your network, with your platform, to make the climate negotiations a bit more successful. And Candy Keller, our boss, has pledged, I will bring you 100, 100, 100. 100 banks, 100 cities, 100 companies, and 100 countries that are all fused in the effort that I will introduce a bit later, the Global Energy Efficiency Platform. We have prepared 43, or actually countries have prepared 43 SE4All rapid assessments and gap analyses with the help of our partners. We have 50 SE4All high impact opportunities identified, 6 of which are already more mature than others: gas flaring, mini grids, clean cooking, the nexus issue, women, energy, children and health. And they're like the low-hanging fruit. We believe we should focus our efforts on particularly those. We have good Facebook and Twitter performance, 60,000 people plus follow us already there. We had our first forum, our first Sustainable Energy for All forum successfully done in 2014. We have the second forum now that was done in New York this year, and so even more participants, so the 1,000 plus participants, we topped that this year. And we have, very important, because all of this is nice and fine, if no one is recording it, tracking it, and putting a report to it, probably the knowledge that is gathered is lost. We have the global tracking framework formulated by the World Bank and by 23 organizations working on the SE4All global tracking framework with the World Bank and a consortium of other agencies, organizations. Our advisory board is still chaired by Ban Ki-moon himself and Jim Kim. And we are very fortunate to have these two global leaders unified behind the topic of energy, because, as I said, we are a unique hybrid. The commitments so far made have already managed to halve energy poverty. What does that mean? It means that the European Union, together with Power Africa, and their commitments that are already pledged, money that is pledged, have already made a bid for halving energy poverty, which is, we think, very significant. We too are coordinating an international organization group in drafting an energy access plan for the G20. And we have launched our Global Energy Efficiency Accelerator platform, targeting COP21 and beyond. The decade was announced, the second forum I already said, 106 countries joined SE4All. The ADB is, as I said, one of our crucial partners for the Asia-Pacific region. ADB's work for SE4All has been remarkable so far. Between 2008 and 2014, the ADB has successfully mobilized $5.3 billion of investment for the energy access sector and deployed $2 billion per year on clean energy. And that was made possible because policy in member states not only fell into place, but was worked into place. ADB's Energy for All collaborated with the ADB's operations departments to integrate energy access impacts into other ongoing projects. And ADB's Energy for All program matched credible energy access enterprises with investors in the private sector. So we are grateful to the hub that we have here in the Asian Development Bank with the Economic and Social Commission for Asia Pacific and UNDP that have already ventured into a successful model that they now seek to replicate as a business model approach for future renewable energy and energy efficiency engagements. We do ask countries to include all the elements, so energy access, energy efficiency, and renewable energy, into their country development plans. Country action in Asia Pacific from the SE4All perspective. We have been successful already to formulate 13 rapid assessments and gap analyses for the Asia Pacific countries. We are now looking into action agendas and investment prospectuses. Why? Because a gap analysis and a rapid assessment is not yet a tool that any investor will take and will actually pledge money. But an investment prospectus or an action agenda with a concrete timeline, with a concrete budget is. And to implement the goal, the SDG number 7, we are looking at these two instruments, at action agendas and investment prospectuses, to be formulated by Asian Pacific countries. Now, some have already done these next steps. Nepal, for example, Energy Plus is funding the development of an action agenda, and the ADB is funding an investment prospectus. In Bangladesh, the US State Department has funded the development of an investment prospectus, and in Myanmar, also the World Bank funded the development of an investment prospectus. But we need more. We need more than this. So my appeal to all of you is to help us get more investment prospectuses, more action agendas going. Now, if we look at the numbers of what's necessary for access, renewables, and energy efficiency over the next 30 years, these are the numbers that my boss, Candy Keller, often quotes. We have just heard that it takes probably even more, given the current energy demand in Asia. But that's not only figures for Asia, that's the global figures that we're talking about. But if you see the divergence between access and energy efficiency, the beauty about it is, yes, energy efficiency needs a lot of money, access needs a lot of money, renewables needs a lot of money, but two, these enshrine the potentials for investment. That's the beauty about it. And the investment can only be triggered, we thought, by something that is grander than what has already been done. So what we try to come up with is the SE4All Accelerator Platform. The Accelerator Platform has the objective to support action and commitment. Action and commitment, and as my boss put it so eloquently during the second annual forum, he said, the one phrase that everyone should walk out with is to convert commitments into kilowatt hours for real people. Convert commitments into kilowatt hours for real people. So we are, with the accelerator platform on energy efficiency, we are focusing on country level, but also on city level, which is a bit of a novelty to be taken. We believe cities will be the implementers in the future for energy efficiency measures. They are the ones, the mayors, who have the power to focus on buildings, on vehicles, on transportation in general, on lighting, on appliances. So we are covering 6 areas that should be formulated into a roadmap that describes the policies and projects that a city, a country, or a region wants to implement. We even try to get businesses on board for this. But let me focus on the 6 areas: lighting, appliances, vehicle fuel efficiency, buildings, district energy, and industry. These are our so-called accelerators in the platform. The platform is an offer to constituencies, to jurisdictions, to pick and choose from this menu of private companies that are part of it, UN organizations that are part of it, to support the formulation of a concrete roadmap that is investable, bankable, and interesting to donors. So lighting is led by UNEP and Philips. It's always one international organization and one private business that are leading these accelerators. In the appliance sector, it's a multitude, but particularly led by Copper Alliance and also UNEP. Vehicle fuel efficiency, the FIA Foundation and UNEP. In the building sector, we have Johnson Controls and the WRI, so the World Resource Institute. District energy is very much UNEP, but also Danfoss-driven accelerator. And industry, we are fortunate to have UNIDO, TERI, and IIP leading this effort. What does it mean? The jurisdiction can call us up, literally, and ask for advice in the various sectors that they want to focus upon from this expertise and from private sector partners that are already part of that as well. What happened to the accelerator platform so far is 40 countries and 30 cities have and dozens of corporations have already pledged to make commitments and to scale commitments in energy efficiency. We have, for example, in the Asian region, the ones that are highlighted in green, Jinan City in China, Manila in the Philippines. Last week, Science City of Munos in the Philippines joined us as well. Rio de Janeiro, Thimphu City, Bhutan, Ulaanbaatar in Mongolia, Warsaw, and the Iskandar region of Malaysia. The accelerator, with the help of financial institutions and IOs, will help governments to prepare these roadmaps and investment prospectuses and action plans. And the accelerator seeks further commitment, obviously. So my pledge is, still, this is the quote that you hopefully remember from this session. If you remember nothing, remember Candy Junquera's words of converting commitments into kilowatt hours for real people. How do we do it? By an engagement process, and I know my time is running out. You commit to the accelerator platform, you assess, for example with Trace, which is a tool by ESMA, what the city can do. You develop an action plan, you implement, that's the trickiest part, but the deep dive is supported by the accelerator platform, and you track and report. Our partners, and the plea for COP21 that I already mentioned, 100 cities, 20 hopefully from Asia. So please give me your business card after this presentation if you find any avenue that makes my life easier to get 20 cities from Asia for the Global Energy Efficiency Accelerator Platform, committing to doubling the improvement rate of energy efficiency in their constituency. 100 companies, 100 banks, 100 countries. We are interested in more action agendas and investment prospectuses. We want to have the AAs, so the action agendas and IPs, the investment prospectuses covering access, renewables, and energy efficiency. And the moment a constituency needs help on energy efficiency, the accelerator stands ready in the delineated 6 areas. We too seek commitments by businesses, and Accenture is helping us to reach out to 250 businesses that have already committed in Rio Plus 20. SE4All is doing another round, and businesses like IKEA and BMW and GDF Suez, many are part of that, and will hopefully commit again on energy efficiency and on other targets of SE4All. Last slide. Where are recognition opportunities for these jurisdictions? Well, parallel to the Asian Clean Energy Forum, the Vienna Energy Forum is running, and some will be represented there. There will be a regional workshop hosted in Singapore thanks to the ADB and its partners, end of July, but the date, I think it's 27th to 31st, but G1 is the mastermind behind. a regional workshop in Japan with our ECCJ, with the with the Energy Conservation Center of Japan, will be hosted in October. We have engagements at the G20 Leaders Summit, and of course COP21 will be the big show. But COP21 is only a stepping stone, it's not the end. More info on our website, and Martin and I stand ready to answer any of your questions. Thanks for your patience.
Great, thank you, Monica. Just to clarify, this 600 billion is per year, or it's per year, right? So I think Monica did a great job in giving us a global perspective of the programs that the Sustainable Energy Initiative is putting into place. Now, we want to zoom into Asia now, and just mentioning that 600 billion that's missing, that's a huge amount. And our thesis is that, maybe in the global scenario, half of that comes from Asia, maybe, and majority of that should come from the private sector, because the private sector has the talent, the human and material resources to address this gap. So that is the working thesis behind today's event, and of course G1 will elaborate on this and give ADB's PDF initiative more clarity.